For those of you watching, I'm holding up the first ever printed hard copy edition that's already received a little bit too much love from me of Into-Centric, Becoming a New Breed of Human Potential, created and written on Planit Butter by Jordan Alexandra Blizzard Planit. Whoa, I'm so excited. I've literally been making love to this thing for the last 2 days. You can get yours on planitbutter.com. Hardcover, paperback, ebook. Let's get this started. Welcome to Planit Butter, where I hopefully inspire you to take fun seriously by being Into-Centric. I'm Jordan Alexandra Blizzard Planit. This is from my planet to yours. Each week we explore new ways of applying Planit Butter's non-linear thinking lens to modern society. Every episode is designed to provoke consciousness through entertaining perspectives and applied philosophy. The philosophy on Planit Butter is Into-Centricism. Say it with me. Into-Centricism. Into-Centricism. You'll catch on quick. Thanks for joining me in our 99th episode. 99! Today, we will continue to relate Planit Butter's philosophy to Earth's current society with a love note from me to America. Thanks, America. And I mean it. Stick with me. As always, email me any questions you have about your world or Planit Butter's life approach. myplanettoyours@gmail.com. myplanettoyours@gmail.com. All right, guys. So, if you're new here, and if you're not new here, just a little reminder, I have been a little bit of a world traveler the last 2 years, and it's been so amazing. And a big factor of my ability to travel the world the way I do is thanks to being American. I think America it's like the way we think of America and what we give our attention toward in America and the way we think about the things that we give our attention toward in America is kind of not super helpful. That's all I'll say on that. Now for my love note. America has this incredible entrepreneurial spirit about it. The American dream, if you will. The ability to speak our minds, express ourselves creatively. I know for sure in my education, which I'm thankful for the high quality education I did have, I was taught how to critically think, which is a huge factor of Planit Butter's philosophy and way of being. And that's not something in my travels I've learned, especially critical thinking is not really something that's actually widely integrated into the education system. Do I have certain thoughts and feelings about America's education system that I don't agree with? Totally. But I think there's enough negative perspectives on America these days that I genuinely wanted to give my gratitude and my love for this country and for being American, truly. So the critical thinking that America has gifted me with, the entrepreneurial spirit that it has inspired me with, the ability to travel this amazing earth with this I want to cry, with this passport. Do you understand how easy it is for us to travel with an American passport? I am so grateful, truly, and I am taking full fucking advantage of it. Thank you, America. And not to mention the fairly strong dollar, the credit system. That's another thing. There's a lot of systems in this country that are actually really phenomenal. Unfortunately, the way the systems operate perhaps are less phenomenal than the original intention and the system itself, because the system's existence, there are great ideas in place, there are great systems in place. The operational development is a different situation that maybe needs to be perspective danced a bit. But I genuinely am just so grateful to be American and to be able to have the luxuries and the mentality that I do have. And so, reading beyond that, this magical new book, Into-centric, Becoming a New Breed of Human Potential, is in part, fascinatingly, if I do say so myself, in its own sense, a love note to America and beyond. Through my international exposure, my international way of being from Planet Butter, visiting this magical earth and taking full advantage of that epic passport of mine. This book, something that I do within the book is I perspective dance a lot of both universally recognized phrases and concepts and connotations of certain phrases and concepts, and many of which are extremely popular specifically in America. So I perspective dance these phrases and concepts into new ways of thinking about them, a perspective dance. And that's another thing I have America to thank for, providing me with this way of thinking that is reflected to me throughout society that I don't agree with, and I have the ability to express that I don't agree with it. Or what if we think about it like this? It's a luxury to be able to do that, unfortunately and fortunately. Now that's a deeper sentence than it might even sound like, so just bear with me. And because of my luxuries as an American, I get to perspective dance with you, for us, to rethink how we think and how we show up for ourselves and therefore the collective. Here are the concepts that I boogie with in Into-centric, Becoming a New Breed of Human Potential. The first one is the symbol lowercase I. So it's the symbol of the square root of -1 because the square root of -1 is viewed as impossible. The next thing we boogie with is the connotation of ego, which interestingly, as you may or may not know, Freud, who is German, originally recognized the ego in a structural sense, not as good or bad. American culture is what has driven this spin of it being a good or bad negative connotation. Then we have, in modern day still, Latin and other cultures also use it positively, much like Planet Butter's spin on it. The ego is our luxury. It's what makes us human. It's our sense of self. The next thing we perspective dance with in this book is the phrase, "It's not our first rodeo." That's super American, and I love what we do with it. It's a section called "It is our first rodeo, but we've been practicing a lot." The next concept that we perspective dance with is shadow's connotation. Now, originally, it's Swiss, it's Carl Jung, and he intended for it to be integrative, while Americans have actually made it this emotional detox of sorts that tends to have a little bit of a dark, negative, scary connotation. But really, the original intention is integrative. The connotation has become this negative, dark, scary thing, and Planet Butter has its own little fun with it. I change it to sunlight, and you'll see why. Next. Okay, this one is just Nike's slogan, "Just do it." However, it's become universally recognized, and it's also become kind of a product of unhealthy hustle culture. I'm all for hustling, hello. However, there's a degree of unhealthy hustle culture and pressure that is not conducive. And so in the book, Into-centric, I boogie with "Just do it" by recognizing it as ready is as boundaries are. Essentially, that anything that we need or want to do will be done when our internal boundaries are externalized and internally processed so that we experience this ability to do the thing. Next, the phrase, seeing is believing. This one is actually interestingly also ancient and universally recognized. Supposedly, they used a phrase of this nature in ancient Greece, China, India, and ancient Rome. I had no idea about this. Also on Planit Butter, we perspective dance seeing is believing into believing is seeing. That's a deep one. Read the book. The next one, survival of the fittest. Originally English and universally recognized. Planit Butter boogies with that to become survival of the consciousest. Survival of the fittest still exists in its own right, and it's not so much a perspective of this one so much as a play on the words of it. However, equally relevant in terms of perspective dancing. Next, escapism as a concept. Again, universally recognized, universally, unfortunately, very relevant. Planit Butter perspective dances escapism to be escaping society and entering your world. And second to last, the phrase that's a mix of, it varies. Lessons are repeated until we learn them or something similar. Planit Butter says lessons are repeated until we listen to our intuition. Everything always roots in our intuition. Every lesson that we experience as a, I knew that, it's because your intuition told you so. Yeah, but again, we elaborate in the book. This is just me expressing to you the many concepts that you already know, and I'm inviting you to think of differently. So lastly, my personal favorite, and perhaps the most important one, is the queen of Planit Butter, Blissy. She is a disco ball of self-reflection. Now, the reason that play on words even makes sense is, again, thanks to America, we use this phrase of ball of love, ball of joy, ball of whatever emotion, whatever. People don't really say it about like the less enjoyable emotions, like a ball of anger. They should, though, because that would make them laugh. So Blissy being a ball of self-reflection is rooted in the American phrase and playfulness of ball of blah, blah, blah. Mind you, while Blissy is the representative, the queen, the disco ball of self-reflection for the world of Planit Butter, the idea is that we are all disco balls of self-reflection, which on Planit Butter, we define as our innate existence of consciously and unconsciously living inside the echoes of our own making, which is why I believe this to be the most important one. Fundamentally, every single human being is a product of our conscious and unconscious inner workings. Being intucentric is the operative function to expand the version of ourselves that we feel most aligned with and transcend from the versions of ourselves that we don't feel aligned with. And now we will close out this magical episode 99, which, by the way, we are in this giant art piece that is a huge globe thing of sorts. It's like an igloo snow globe. It's like the cousin of Blissy. There's like these big transparent bubble things, and then like little web of white connecting it all. Whatever you want it to be. I'm going to call it Blissy's cousin. All right. To close this baby out, I will be reading you the latest and now one of my favorite Planet Butter publication articles titled, How Long Is It? Here we go. Thank you, society, for perpetually inspiring me and making me giggle. Society, how long is it? Me, 9 inches / 22 centimeters. Again, this is a universally friendly podcast. Society, how long is it? Me, how will you use it? Society, how long is it? Me, you're the problem. Society, how long is it? Me, roughly 4,400 words. And the best part is, if you do that math thing humans love, for a normal book, it's only 14 pages. However, this is a sculpture in book form. Each page is a work of art. It happens to be 217 pages. The most common question I receive about Intucentric from society is, how long is it? This is almost as mentally debilitating to me as telling a woman mid-free fall to keep going. Je ne fais celle-ci plus longue que parce que je n'ai pas eu voulu de la faire plus courte. Translation, I have made this letter longer than usual because I have not had time to make it shorter. This quote is from Blaise Pascal's Letters Provinciales. Okay? I'm going to say that quote one more time in English. I have made this letter longer than usual because I have not had time to make it shorter. Thank you, society, for the perpetual inspiration and giggles. I believe you need this. I hope it helps. From my planet to yours. Jordan, Alexandra, Blizzard, Planit. P.S. What if we called a condom hardcover? Protect yourself from society and read Intucentric. Order on planetbutter.com. All right, guys, we did it again. Email me any questions you have about Planet Butter's philosophy or your world. myplanettoyours@gmail.com. myplanettoyours@gmail.com. Thanks for visiting Planet Butter, my world, where I hopefully inspire you to take fun seriously by being Intucentric. It's not easy, but we can choose to make it fun. Stick with me. I'll keep showing you how. Intucentric. Order on planetbutter.com. See you Thursday.
On the way out, I discovered the artist plaque. So, in the spirit of creativity and supporting the communities of the world and this magical sculpture that we'll get to report in, I need to read this to you. So, the sculpture that we have the pleasure of recording episode 99 in today is called Fly's Eye Dome. It's trademarked. Buckminster Fuller, commissioned by the Buckminster Fuller Institute in 1965.